MPs will elect a new Speaker of the House of Commons today following the retirement of John Bercow. Mr Bercow stood down last week after 10 years in the role, and there will be a vote in Parliament to decide his successor this afternoon. The 8 contenders include the current Deputy Speaker, Lindsay Hoyle, and the former Deputy Prime Minister, Harriet Harman. Well, we're joined now by Hannah White, who's Deputy Director of the Institute for Government and knows these people and these issues well. Hannah, just explain for us first, what is so important about this role?
Well, what we've seen in the course of Brexit is the Speaker's role in the chair in the House of Commons. And the role is really to interpret the rules, the precedents, which are all quite complicated, which govern how the House of Commons works. But the Speaker also has other jobs. He has jobs related to the administration of the House of Commons, and he has a role in presenting the House of Commons to the world, as we've seen.
And so what challenges does that Speaker face in divided and tribalised times?
I think the outcome of the general election will be really crucial for the next Speaker, because if we have another minority government or a small majority, the decisions made by the Speaker in the chair, as we've seen with John Bercow, can end up being controversial. But it is absolutely crucial to have someone there who's using their judgment. The rules are not sufficient on their own, and somebody has to make that choice, and MPs will be deciding today who that should be.
OK, so let's look at the who then. I mentioned a couple of the candidates. Who do you think is going to win, and how do MPs decide who to vote for?
Well, interestingly, this is a secret ballot, so although the whips will have their preferences and they will no doubt have communicated those to MPs, MPs will be able to make their own decision. They'll decide on lots of different bases, and actually Speaker elections are quite difficult to predict, particularly this one, I think, because lots of MPs won't necessarily be in Westminster. They'll be back in their constituencies campaigning. They won't necessarily think this is enough of a priority to come to Westminster, and who exactly is voting may have an impact on the outcome.
And who is voting is one thing, and then the candidates get to make a speech, so they will make a pitch, won't they?
Exactly. There are 8 candidates. They will each try to argue why they should be given the job. There are front-runners who, as you say, have experience in the House as being deputy speakers. So we've got Lindsay Hoyle and Eleanor Lang, but we also have very experienced other members from both the Conservative and the Labour Party, and members will have different reasons for thinking they would be good at the job.
And would you put your money on anyone exactly at this point?
The front runner seems to be Lindsay Hoyle, the most sort of senior deputy speaker.
Well known, obviously, in the deputy role.
Indeed, but I have to say, John Bercow was not the front runner last time round, so anything could happen.
Hannah, thanks so much for coming in.